Welcome to Mortgage 101, where you will learn the important steps of buying or refinancing a home. Hello, I am glad you are here. My name is Nathan Rufty, a mortgage loan originator with over 25 years of lending experience that has your best interests in mind. After listening to this full podcast, connect with me to discuss your home loan needs. Now on with the show. Hello and welcome to another very informative podcast with Mortgage 101. My name's Nathan Rufty, a licensed loan originator in the state of California and Arizona. Today's topic is, should I go with the builder's preferred lender? So if you're looking to purchase a new property in the state of California and Arizona, I'd love to help and talk to you about it. The builders today, especially in today's environment, what's going on with very low mortgage interest rates, and we have more buyers than sellers, the builders are taking a lot of incentives off the table. They're going to throw $2,500 at you for closing costs, $10,000, $8,000. I'm starting to see those numbers go lower because there's an abundance of buyers. The sellers don't have to get, the builder, if you want to call them the seller, do not have to get that many incentives on the table for the buyers to take, because they got a lot of buyers out there that will buy the property without incentives. But they are still given a little bit of incentives, such as builder credit towards upgrades or towards the closing cost. But they're not going to give that away for free. You buyer got to look at the numbers. You can obtain a much lower interest rate if you go with an outside lender. So if they throw $2,500 at you or $5,000 to take their preferred lender and go with a higher interest rate, that's how they're going to pay for it, is a higher interest rate, then basically that seller's credit of $25,000 or $5,000, whatever it is going to go to pay for the closing cost. So you can go with an outside lender such as myself. We're going to offer you a much lower interest rate. And even if we can match their interest rate, because their interest rate is going to be higher, we may not be able to go that high. We can raise your interest rate and probably still beat their incentives and give you a lender credit towards your closing costs. But if $2,500 or $5,000 is going to make or break your deal, you got to think about that. We can give you a higher interest rate. The higher interest rate you elect to take as a consumer, we, the lender, are going to give you money towards the closing cost. We don't make any more money by offering you a higher interest rate. You get that lender credit called a rebate towards, or a discount point. You get that rebate towards closing costs. It can't go through to the down payment, but it's going to go to the overall closing cost bucket. So, such as myself, we offer, from what people call me, our interest rate is much, much lower than the builder's interest rate. And the reason is that they need to pad and built into that credit they're going to give you as the buyer, and they pad that in on a higher interest rate. And if you look at the fee breakdown, the loan origination charge may be 1% or 0.5% of the cost to buy the house. If your house is $300,000 and it's costing you maybe 1%, that's $3,000 to get that interest rate. Well, that credit they're going to give you, let's say of $5,000, $3,000 of that $5,000 is going to go to pay for the interest rate at a higher rate. So you got to look at that, and if that's going to move you to go with their preferred lender, then so be it. But remember, you're going to finance that over the long period of time. Don't think the interest rates are going to fall. If you're like, hey, I'll take their money at a higher interest rate and then refinance 6 months or 12 months later, no. You're gambling at that point. Wouldn't you rather go in with a much lower interest rate and bring in your own money for that closing cost or the builder's credit or whatever they're going to give you? Now, if they're offering you $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, yeah, you got to look at that a little bit. But the builders today, what's going on in the market today as I'm doing this podcast, the builders are starting to shrink those credits because they don't have to give that away. There's tons of buyers out there that will buy their property because it's brand new. It's much more affordable than maybe possibly a resale, maybe. And you get to put your own stamp on a new build. So you got to look at that. But you can go with an outside lender. You may have to get pre-qualified with their lender first. Like I'm buying a house right now, and I'm not using their preferred lender. I work for a mortgage company, and I could not believe the interest rate they were offering me and what I can get through an outside entity. And they wanted to give me $2,500. Really, that's not going to move me to take your 0.5% higher interest rate over $2,500. Just not going to do. It's not going to work for me. You got to look at that yourself too, and make sure you're doing the right thing. It might be easy to go with the builder, but in long term, you're really hurting yourself. But you got to look at, on paper, apples to apples, to what their lender's offering you and what the other outside preferred, a non-preferred lender is going to offer you. Now, some builders, you got to talk to them, is if you go with an outside lender, they're going to take off the seller credit towards that closing cost. They're just going to take that away, which I think is wrong. You're buying a product. If you use, you're getting incentivized to use their lender with a lender credit at a higher interest rate. It just doesn't make sense to me. Every new build that I did not go with their lender. I know I can get a better deal somewhere else. I can care less about the $5,000 they were trying to incentivize me to go with their preferred lender. It just doesn't make sense. So you got to ask yourself, if you're looking to purchase a brand new property in Fontana, California, or Surprise, Arizona, if you're looking in those particular areas, you have other choices. You do not have to go with their preferred lender. They're going to want to entice you to go there because of the closing costs or builder credit, or they're going to say it's much easier dealing with their lender, preferred lender, with the communication. It's wrong. I'm going through it right now. So if you're going through it, I'm going through it with you right now, and it's not. It takes me a while to hear from that other loan originator, and I'm a loan originator. And communication is the key and fundamental of you buying a property, whether it be a new build or an existing property. But you have choices as a consumer. You can go outside of their preferred lender. From what I understand today, like I had to, you have to get qualified with their preferred lender first so they can take a look at it, which I think is wrong too. But that's what they want to do. Is what you got to do. I don't like it. You can go outside and get yourself requalified. Don't worry about the pulling of the credit. If you're buying a new build, by the time they run your credit's only good for 120 days. And after that 120 day, your credit expires. You're going to have to re-pull a new credit report if it's taken longer than 4 months. For you to have that builder build that property for you. It's taking longer than 4 months. So your credit's going to expire anyways. Everything's going to expire. Your bank statements, your pay stubs, possibly you roll into the following year. You need to update your taxes or W-2, update bank statements, update possibly your driver's license. I mean, there's things that's going to be updated, but that initial submission of paperwork is going to be all good at that point that you can purchase that property. But yes, things can change down the line, so you may have to think about that. But do look at your options. You can go outside of their preferred lender and get a second opinion or a third opinion. I love to be that second or third opinion or even first opinion if the builder doesn't care who you go with. But all the big major builders want you to go with their preferred lender. But you do have choices. Trust me. And we can look at all the avenues, and it's not going to hurt my feelings if you don't go with me. It might with another loan officer, but look at a second opinion. If they're offering you a higher interest rate, and I can come in lower interest rate, but higher than my par pricing, means you're not paying or receiving anything for that money. But if I can raise your interest rate, give you a lender credit close to what they're giving you, still at a much lower interest rate, wouldn't you do that? So you got to look at those options. You can go my website and price out your scenario at any time at www.fastandeasyquote.com. That's fastandeasyquote.com. It takes you right to my online home loan pricing engine, whether it be a purchase or a refinance. So if you're looking to buy a house in Surprise, Arizona, or Fontana, California, and it's a new construction, look at your options outside of their preferred lender. You might be surprised and amazed. And it doesn't hurt for you to get that quote to make sure you're doing the right thing, whether you stay with the preferred lender or you jump ship and go to an outside lender. But do know you have options. I love to be that, like I said, second or third option if need be. But in any case, you can go right to my website and price your option out. You don't even have to talk to me if you don't want to. I hope that you do, but you first can do your due diligence. Go to my fastandeasyquote.com site, price it out, and if it looks good to you, let's explore that a little bit further. But I'd love to help you on a new construction, new build, in Surprise, Arizona, Fontana, California. But I am licensed in the whole state of Arizona as well as California. So if you're looking anywhere in those two states, I can assist you. My name is Nathan Rufty with Canopy Mortgage. Thank you very much for listening to me. I'm a loan originator and with many years of experience, and I'd like to connect with you and just explore some options. I like to present. I don't sell. I present options to you based on your financial situation when it comes to income, credit, and assets. I'd love hearing from you at 909 area code. Best way to get a hold of me is my cell phone, 909-503-5600. Thank you very much for taking the time out and listening to me, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you again for taking the time to listen to this very informative podcast. Remember to subscribe, share, like, and comment. There is no better time than today to explore your options to purchase or refinance a home. Please call, text, or email me at the information below to get started right away, and I look forward in hearing from you.